Your brother is still waiting for you to pay for his college. Don't go spending his college money to support some gold digger.
Your whole family are freeloaders. My Mu Yang would never do that. What happens in your families has absolutely nothing to do with my family or me. If you have kids, raise them yourself. If you can't afford them, don't have them.
Hey Nyo, how can you say such a thing? Your brother carries the Su family bloodline. The Su family's future relies on him to bring honor to our name.
Chao is the true root of the Su family. Who does your son think he is? Hey Nyo, take your uncle's advice. You can't go giving your money to outsiders. You must save it for your own nephew.
To hell with all of you. Get the hell out. You are not welcome here.
Why are you getting so worked up? And how is this any of your business? By failing to raise their own child, they have committed the crime of abandonment. Under Article 261 of the Chinese criminal law, it is punishable by up to 5 years in prison, criminal detention, or public surveillance. Furthermore, if they act with the intent of unlawful possession, and use violence against you and your family, coercion, or other means, to forcibly take property belonging to you and your family, that act of robbery, under Article 263 of the criminal law, constitutes the crime of robbery, shall be sentenced to 3 to 10 years in prison, and a fine. In serious cases, the sentence is over 10 years in prison, life imprisonment, or death, along with a fine or confiscation of property. Whichever option they prefer, they can have it. It's their choice. We can't deprive them of that right.
I didn't expect Mu Yang to be so talented. If this rented boyfriend were actually real, how wonderful that would be. I'm Shu Mo. I make $1 million yuan a year, and belong to the looks, money, but no man category. A single, older leftover woman. Since I'm an only child, my relatives all think my family line ends with me. Luckily, my parents don't favor boys over girls, and they've always doted on me. But years after graduation, let alone getting married, I didn't even have a boyfriend. Today, my mom called me yet again.
When exactly are you bringing a boyfriend home?
Oh, Mom, stop nagging me. I'll definitely bring a boyfriend home this year, okay? Sigh. What am I going to do? Jing Jing, my mom is nagging me to get married again. If it comes to it, I'll just rent a boyfriend to deal with her. I just don't know where to rent one.
Why waste your hard-earned money? I happen to have a single cousin. You can borrow him for a few days, free of charge.
Borrow him for a few days. What on earth am I thinking?
By the way, Su Mo, my cousin happens to be at the cafe downstairs. Why don't you two meet up? I have to go, so I'll hang up now.
What? That's so sudden. Whatever. Might as well give it a shot. Let's do this.
Cease.
Mu Yang, are you at the cafe now?
Yeah, I am.
Did you see the text I sent you? About what I mentioned last time. My college classmate, Su Mo. You remember her, right? Her parents are nagging her like crazy to get married. So I told her that you're my single, unwanted cousin, and that she could borrow you to deal with them.
I'm unwanted.
What? Got a problem with that?
Nope. Works for me.
She'll be there any minute. Don't spill all your secrets right off the bat. Just play along with her.
Got it.
Mu Yang, don't scare her away.
Don't worry.
Is this Jing Jing's unwanted cousin?
Hello. You must be Shu Mo. Please, have a seat.
Thank you.
Would you like something to drink?
Just a latte, please.
Excuse me. 2 laddies, please. My cousin told me about your situation. I can help you out. But I have one condition. When my parents return to the country, I need you to accompany me and have a meal with them.
Not just one meal. Even 10 meals wouldn't be a problem. Seriously, Shu Mo, you're way too eager just because he's handsome.
It's settled then. Tomorrow, I'll play the role of your boyfriend and go back to your hometown with you. We'll return after the new year.
Okay. Mu Yang, can I ask you a question?
Go ahead.
Well, you're such a catch. Why are you still single?
I'm just waiting for the right person. I'd rather be single than settle.
I see. Alright then, I'll pick you up after work tomorrow.
Okay. I'll send you the address. Are you off work?
Yeah, just stepped out. I'm on my way to pick you up.
Okay. Drive safely. I'll wait for you.
Heading to destination. Estimated travel time, 25 minutes.
Let's go.
Okay.
There's a rest area ahead.
Yeah. Let's stay at the rest area tonight, and head home tomorrow.
Okay.
Tell me a bit about yourself. I can't have us arrive at my place, and then I know nothing about you.
What do you want to know?
Just the basics. How many people are in your family? What do you do? Where did you go to school? Anyway, everything we say needs to match up. My dad is a pro at vetting people.
I immigrated with my family in high school, went to university abroad, and returned to China after grad school. Now, I'm a technical consultant at an automotive company.
What about your personality?
A bit of a homebody. I have quite a few hobbies. I know a bit of everything.
Your age?
What's wrong?
Nothing. I'm 28.
I know.
I'm 3 years older than you.
As they say, a wife 3 years older brings wealth.
The problem is, how do I get my parents to believe that a guy with your background would fall for me, especially with marriage in mind?
They'll believe it. Trust me.
Let's hope everything goes smoothly. I should tell you a bit about myself too. We can chat about the rest on the road. My family lives in the old district of a low-tier city. The pace of life is slow, making it quite livable. But my parents are very traditional. They feel that having only one daughter means their family line ends with me. So their expectations for a son-in-law are already through the roof. Once we get there, don't be overwhelmed by their enthusiasm.
Okay. No problem.
Good luck.
Let me drive. You should get some rest.
All right, let's go. After a long journey, we were finally almost there. I saw the entrance to the village up ahead. There was actually an archway, bright red and glittering. It was visible from a distance. Every year during festivals, or when someone has a celebration, the villagers set up archways to celebrate. The bigger the occasion, the more spectacular and numerous the archways. I was enthusiastically introducing Mu Yang to our village's fine customs, but as we drove closer, the smile instantly faded from my face. On the archway was a line of golden characters, warmly celebrating our daughter Shumo bringing her boyfriend home for New Year. My first thought was, my parents have totally humiliated me. Is it too late to turn back now? Too late, because I could already see my mom standing right ahead. As soon as we got out, my mom completely ignored me. With her eyes shining, she headed straight for the driver's side. Mom, this is Mu Yang. I awkwardly introduced Mu Yang as he stepped out of the car.
Happy New Year, Auntie.
Happy New Year. Quick, come inside and sit down.
Seeing Mu Yang, my mom looked as if she had just seen the god of wealth herself. She eagerly pulled Mu Yang into the house, as if afraid he might run off. Mom, we still have stuff in the car, I shouted.
Get it yourself.
My mom yelled back without even turning around. Looking at the stuffed trunk, I fell into deep thought. Fortunately, Mu Yang wasn't as heartless as my mother, and came back to help me carry the bags. What followed next was my parents meeting Mu Yang. It was as if they had found their long-lost biological son. They were just short of hugging each other, with tears in their eyes. Meanwhile, I felt like a discarded concubine, ignored and left on the sidelines, feeling like I was just taking up space. Still, I had to admire Mu Yang's acting skills and emotional intelligence. He didn't show even a hint of impatience or annoyance. He even took the initiative to apologize, saying,
Uncle, Auntie, I wanted to visit you sooner, but I was worried it might be too abrupt. So I kept putting it off until now. I hope you don't mind.
Oh, it's fine, not at all. It's all Sumo's fault. She should have told us earlier.
My mom replied with a beaming smile. As she said this, she didn't forget to smack me on the shoulder. If I were pregnant, she probably would have knocked the baby right out of me by now. My dad then started brewing tea while chatting casually with Mu Yang. He called it chatting, but I felt like my dad wanted to pry into Mu Yang's entire family history, as if he was terrified I might be scammed. Dad, we just got back. I could only gently remind him.
Go rest if you're tired. I can chat with Mu Yang myself.
Without even looking back, my father said, Mu Yang has been driving for hours.
It's okay, I'm not tired. Go get some rest first.
Mu Yang replied with a smile, but before I even got a chance to rest, my own mom told me to help her feed the chickens. Me, making $1 million a year, as a chief financial officer, and she wants me to feed chickens. In the end, I resigned myself to my fate and went. Once you're back in the countryside, you have to work, no matter who you were before, or how much you earned. Of course, feeding the chickens was just a pretext. Her real goal was to fish for information about Mu Yang.
How long have you two been together?
A year, I replied smoothly, without batting an eye.
Have you visited his family yet?
Not yet, of course. I had to let you and Dad approve of him first, before visiting his family. Otherwise, if you guys object, won't all my efforts be in vain? I could only BS my way through. To my surprise, my mother didn't look happy at all. Instead, she muttered with concern, I'm just worried they won't like you. She also asked about before Mu Yang, how many relationships I had been in, and how he could have fallen for me. She grilled me on every single detail, most of which I couldn't even answer. So I had to make things up to get by. It was more exhausting than dealing with demanding clients. After feeding the chickens, my mom nimbly caught one of them, saying she wanted to make a nourishing meal for Mu Yang. Meanwhile, I, who hadn't been home in ages, never got this kind of treatment. When we got back to the house, I saw that both my dad and Mu Yang were gone. I hurriedly called Mu Yang, terrified that something might have happened. If anything went wrong with him, how am I supposed to explain this to Jingjing? Mu Yang laughed on the other end of the line and said that my dad had taken him out for a walk, and they would be back soon. I casually reminded him to be careful, and didn't think much of it, because my mom had already slaughtered a chicken, and asked me to help pluck the feathers. By the time Mu Yang returned with my dad, it was already dusk. Dinner was already prepared, and we were just waiting for them. I found a moment to ask Mu Yang where my dad had taken him that afternoon, and if he had made things hard for him. Mu Yang not only said no, but also claimed he got along great with my dad. I seriously doubted if the person Mu Yang was talking about was even the same man, because in my memory, my dad has always been a stern, humorless man, who was especially strict with me. Even to this day, I am still much closer to my mom, and she is the one I confide in. During dinner, my dad suggested having a few drinks with Mu Yang. Before Mu Yang could even reply, I chimed in. Mu Yang isn't much of a drinker. I was worried he'd blow our cover if he drank too much. If my parents ever found out that I rented a boyfriend just to appease them, they would skin me alive. Yet, Mu Yang completely undermined me by saying,
Since it's a rare occasion, it's fine for me to have a few drinks with you, uncle.
You've got spirit, Mu Yang.
My dad praised. Just like that, Mu Yang kept my dad company, drinking, and chatting away, while I lost all my appetite, sitting on pins and needles. I was terrified that Mu Yang would get drunk, and let something slip. I thought Mu Yang only had to deal with my dad, but it turned out I was too naive. Before long, my eldest uncle and aunt, and my third uncle and aunt all came. It turned out that in the afternoon, my dad had taken Mu Yang around to visit everyone. Visiting was just an excuse. Showing him off was the real goal. So that evening, all the relatives came over to show concern for my marriage, or rather, to size him up. After all, because my two uncles both had sons, they were always favored by my grandparents, while my parents only had me. And since I'm a girl, our family had faced constant bullying and discrimination.
Mu Yang, how long have you been dating our Hainyo?
My aunt asked with a gossiping look. She called me by the childhood nickname I've always hated, without caring about my feelings at all. Mu Yang looked at me in confusion.
Hainyo.
It's a nickname they gave me, I explained gloomily.
That nickname doesn't fit you at all. You're so beautiful. You should be called the Great Beauty.
Mu Yang said with a straight face, in front of the relatives. Then he turned to them and replied,
I pursued Shumo for over a year. It wasn't until late last year that she finally agreed to date me.
I looked at Mu Yang with utter admiration. It turned out Mu Yang was the type who could lie effortlessly, without even blinking.
Are you serious about our Hainyo? Do you plan to get married?
My third aunt chimed in.
As long as Shumo is willing, we can register our marriage right away.
Mu Yang squeezed my hand, and replied with a smile.
You're so good looking, don't you mind that she's older?
Third uncle immediately added, just as I was about to snap. I heard Mu Yang reply.
Too old. I think she's perfect for me.
At that moment, I fell for him. My heart skipped a beat.
You're some kind of automotive consultant. Is that just repairing cars? The pay must not be very high. Will you live in Beijing after you marry, or move back to our village?
Eldest uncle asked in rapid succession.
It's really not that high. Only around 200,000 after tax.
Mu Yang replied modestly.
That's not much then. Averaging it out monthly, it's less than 20,000.
Third uncle commented in a sarcastic tone. I rolled my eyes. For someone Mu Yang's age, making this kind of salary is actually pretty good. Then I heard Mu Yang add.
And meant monthly.
Suddenly, everyone froze, myself included. I never expected Mu Yang to make that much. I thought my salary was high, but he makes way more than me. But on second thought, Mu Yang must be bragging, just to save face for me. He's just bluffing. But since he set the bar so high right from the start, how will I ever find a real boyfriend in the future? If my next boyfriend makes less than this, and I bring him home, eldest and third uncle's families will mock us to death.
Is it really that high every month? Or is that just for certain months? Well, salaries are high in big cities, but the pressure must be intense. I heard they have that 996 work schedule. If you're not careful, you could easily drop dead.
It's too risky. For ordinary folks like us, a stable, quiet life is all we need.
My uncle sounded incredibly bitter. Looking at their faces, it was clear they wished I'd stay single forever, or marry someone who is a total loser. Seeing their ugly faces, made me want to kick them all out. Who cares what kind of relatives they are? They are not family, they are more like enemies. No wonder my cousin married an unemployed woman. Being jobless is indeed the safest bet. I nodded in sarcastic agreement.
What do you know? Zhuanzi is currently studying for the civil service exam.
My uncle snapped instantly. Studying at a nightclub, I blurted out. The next second, my mom dragged me to the kitchen to wash vegetables.
Why do you care what they say? You know exactly what they are like. They've always been like this, mocking the poor and resenting the rich.
My mom tried to reason with me, which was rare, hoping I wouldn't make a scene. Still, they shouldn't talk to Mu Yang like that, I said, exasperated. It's a good thing Mu Yang is just my fake boyfriend. A real boyfriend would have been scared away by now. It makes me so angry, just thinking about it.
Make sure to explain it to Mu Yang later. Tell him that's just how they are, and ask him not to take it to heart. Once you two get married, you'll move out and live on your own. You won't have to deal with these relatives anymore.
My mom was powerless against them, too. I think they just wish I'd stay unmarried.
It's not that they don't want you to marry. They are hoping that once you're married off, our family's assets will go to them. They are just afraid you'll marry someone too capable. They stand no chance.
Once I get married, why would our family's property go to them? I looked at my mother and asked in shock, can't I just keep it for myself? Why should outsiders like them be eyeing it?
Isn't it because you're our only daughter? Once you marry out, the land and the house will have nothing to do with you anymore.
Wishful thinking. Even if I get married and take you and dad to live with me, the land and house here will stay empty before I let them touch it. It all belongs to our family. Even after you and dad pass away, it's still mine. They have no right to it. If they dare try anything, I'll call the police and sue them. Fuming with anger, I turned and walked out of the kitchen, ready to kick those shameless relatives out of the house. I didn't care who they were, until I heard Mu Yang smilingly say to them,
As long as Shumo is willing, I don't mind marrying into her family.
Caught off guard, my foot tripped on the threshold and I almost went sprawling. Fortunately, Mu Yang reached out and caught me, saving me from making a fool of myself.
Be careful.
Mu Yang smiled and warned me. I stared at him in a daze. If we looked like a dating couple before, now we looked deeply in love.
Marrying into her family, won't your parents object?
My uncle grew anxious. He was panicking, but I was totally relaxed. I sat down beside Mu Yang and said with a smile, why would they object? Mu Yang's parents are very open-minded. Besides, they have settled abroad. It makes no difference to them whether he marries in or not. Whenever we have time, we'll just go visit them. Mu Yang smiled and nodded.
What kind of capable man would marry into the wife's family? Su Mo, are you being scammed by him? You make so much money. Don't let him swindle it all away.
Exactly. He's so good looking. He's probably just living off of you.
Suemo, your brother is still waiting for you to pay for his college. Don't you dare take his college money to support a freeloader.
Your whole family are freeloaders. My Mu Yang would never live off a woman. What happens in your families has absolutely nothing to do with me or my family. If you have kids, raise them yourselves. If you can't afford them, don't have them. I jumped up in anger and yelled back.
Hey Nia, how can you say such a thing? Your brother carries the Su family line. In the future, the Su family will have to rely on him to bring honor to our name.
Third uncle retorted.
Chao is the true root of the Su family. Who does your son think he is? Hey Niu, take some advice from your eldest uncle. You can't give your money to an outsider. You must save it for your own nephew.
Like hell I will. All of you, get the hell out of here. I yelled furiously. What followed was total chaos. Having reached my absolute limit, I grabbed the broom in the corner and started chasing them out. Mu Yang held me back, while speaking in a calm voice.
Why get so worked up? It has nothing to do with you. By refusing to raise their own children, they are guilty of the crime of abandonment. Under Article 261 of the Chinese criminal law, it is punishable by up to 5 years in prison, criminal detention, or public surveillance, if they act with the intent of unlawful possession against you and your family, using violence, coercion, or other methods, to forcibly take property belonging to you. Under Article 263 of the criminal law, this constitutes the crime of robbery. It is punishable by 3 to 10 years of fixed-term imprisonment, along with a fine. For severe cases, it's over 10 years of fixed-term imprisonment, life imprisonment, or even the death penalty, plus a fine or confiscation of property. They can pick whichever penalty they like. It's a free choice. You shouldn't deprive them of their right to choose.
Everyone stared at Mu Yang, completely dumbfounded, unable to process it for a moment. What did
he mean by that?
I couldn't help but chuckle, not expecting Mu Yang to be so witty, but he doesn't know that. Sometimes when a scholar meets a soldier, reasoning is completely useless.
What are you talking about? My uncle was the first to snap out of it and ask.
I passed the National Judicial Examination last year, and hold a legal professional qualification certificate. Meaning, if you force Xu Mo and her family to do anything they don't want to do, especially if it involves anything illegal, I would be happy to act as their lawyer free of charge.
We're family. Aren't we supposed to help each other out? What nonsense are you spouting?
Xu Mo and I are planning to buy a house for our wedding. We are in a bit of a rush. So why don't you guys help us out financially first?
I don't have any money. You earn millions a year and you're borrowing from me.
Houses in Beijing are very expensive.
No money, no money.
Uncle, aunt, even my third uncle and aunt scrambled to leave. I turned to look at Mu Yang. I didn't expect him to effortlessly drive all those awful relatives away.
Why lower yourself to their level?
Mu Yang's gentle voice sounded, and I suddenly snapped out of it, remembering what I had just done. I had completely lost my cool. My image was completely ruined. I was instantly mortified, and hurriedly put the broom back.
Mu Yang, I'm sorry you had to see that. My brothers are just like that.
My father, who had remained silent all along, apologized helplessly to Mu Yang.
We live in a society ruled by law, where reason and affection don't work. You have to resort to the law.
Incidents like today used to happen every few days.
Especially when grandma was still alive, she would force my parents to support my eldest and third uncles, claiming they had to raise sons to carry on the Xu family line, which was a heavy burden, while raising a useless money-losing girl like me was pointless. But my parents, always valuing family ties, never wanted to cause a scene, which only made them walk all over us even more. Because of this, I secretly resolved from a young age to study hard, make something of myself, and bring my parents to live in the big city, to enjoy a good life, far away from these toxic, so-called relatives. Mu Yang smiled and shook his head, looking at me, with a hint of sympathy in his eyes. I could only give an embarrassed laugh. I wanted to keep my dignity, but reality just wouldn't let me. Now that the awful relatives were gone, there were only my parents, myself, and Mu Yang left in the house. Things got a lot quieter after my mom cleared the table and went into the kitchen. She brought out 2 more dishes to go with the drinks. Mu Yang and my dad kept drinking. Feeling down, I sat to the side with my phone, texting Jingjing about what had just happened. Jingjing reacted even more strongly than me.
You actually put up with that?
I couldn't. I've already kicked them all out.
If you couldn't kick them out, you should have let my cousin handle it. If they got hurt, at worst we'd just pay for their medical bills.
No way. Knowing what they're like, they'd definitely extort my family, and extort Mu Yang too. Right now, I just want to buy a house as soon as possible, and bring my parents to live with me. That would be more practical.
Why buy another house? My cousin lives alone, in such a huge villa. Can't he spare some space for your parents to live?
I couldn't help but laugh. Have you forgotten? Your cousin is just my fake boyfriend.
Then make him your real one. What's the big deal? I don't mind you being my sister-in-law, so why do you mind having me as yours?
I was completely speechless. Where is this even coming from? Meanwhile, Mu Yang and my dad were getting along great. They hit it off as if they were old friends. Fueled by the alcohol, they ended up acting like brothers. I heard my dad starting to tell Mu Yang stories about my childhood, and instantly got a bad feeling. So I quickly tried to stop him. Dad, you've had too much to drink. Stop drinking.
I'm not drunk. I can easily go for another bottle.
Don't talk nonsense in front of Mu Yang. You wouldn't get drunk even if you had another bottle. But Mu Yang is already drunk. It's also getting late. Time to get some rest. You can continue tomorrow.
My mom stepped in to intervene.
That's settled then. We'll continue tomorrow.
My dad patted Mu Yang on the shoulder, slurring his words. Then, he went to the bedroom, supported by my mom. As expected, my mom knows my dad best. She always has a way. I looked back and saw Mu Yang, smiling at me. He was drunk, just grinning at me like a fool. I felt so awkward. I could only brace myself and tell him, "It's getting late. Why don't we get some rest?" Fortunately, Mu Yang was cooperative and followed me. My mom knew I was bringing my boyfriend home this time, so she had prepared a guest bedroom in advance, right next to my room. I brought Mu Yang to his bedroom and asked him hesitantly, "Can you manage by yourself?" Mu Yang looked at me and smiled. Only then did I realize that my question could be taken the wrong way. I quickly explained in embarrassment, "I mean, since you drank so much tonight, are you going to be okay?"
I'm fine.
"Then get some rest. I won't disturb you." After saying that, I turned and walked out of the bedroom, closing the door behind me. I went back to my own room. The first thing I did was call Jingjing to ask how her cousin behaves when he's drunk, and what his reactions are, or what I need to watch out for. After all, since Jingjing was nice enough to entrust her cousin to me, I have to take full responsibility for him. At least before we go back, I need to make sure he stays safe and sound.
Mu Yang drank too much.
Jingjing was extremely surprised. Yeah, it was all because of those awful relatives tonight. Later, he was acting all chummy with my dad, so he drank quite a lot. Now I'm a bit worried.
Don't worry, my cousin handles his alcohol well. He won't do anything crazy even if he's wasted. You don't need to worry about him forcing himself on you. But if you use this chance to make a move on him, that's a different story.
I'm being serious here. I couldn't help but roll my eyes.
I'm being serious too. My cousin is still single, you know.
Someone with his qualities is still single. Is it because his taste in people is a bit special? I asked hesitantly.
Special?
Jingjing asked in confusion. Like, maybe he's into men. Jingjing, on the other end of the line, suddenly burst out laughing.
You can rest 100% assured. My cousin is straight as an arrow.
That has nothing to do with me. I'm just gossiping.
What I mean is, if you like my cousin, go for it if you can. If you can't, make it happen anyway. He's already staying at your place. If you make a move and seal the deal, I wouldn't mind at all.
Jingjing said, clearly enjoying the drama. Go away. Get lost. You're getting more and more ridiculous. After chatting with Jingjing for a bit longer, I hung up the phone, still worried about Mu Yang being drunk. I thought about going to the kitchen to make some hangover soup for him to drink, but besides cooking rice and making instant noodles, I know absolutely nothing about cooking dishes or making soup. So I ended up in the kitchen, searching on my phone for a hangover soup recipe, and whipped up a pot by following the recipe. My mom heard the noise and came over to ask if I was hungry. I told her I was making hangover soup and that I'd bring Dad a bowl later, but my own mother took one look and said with disdain,
"And here I thought you were actually motivated, only to find you making pig food in the middle of the night."
"Mom, don't mind how it looks. It actually tastes pretty good. One bowl will keep the headache away tomorrow. Take a bowl over to Dad," I boasted, recommending it. Then, I ladled out a bowl and practically forced it into my mom's hand. Next, I scooped another bowl to bring to Mu Yang. I went to his door and knocked. No response. I knocked twice more and waited quietly. I thought if he still didn't open the door, he must have fallen asleep. In that case, I wouldn't bother him. Just as I was about to turn around and leave, the door opened. I looked up and saw Mu Yang, fresh out of the shower. His hair was still wet, and his clothes were just thrown on, exuding a touch of effortless charm and sexiness. Wait, am I even allowed to look at this? I suddenly felt so embarrassed, and quickly looked away. I handed him the hangover soup. "I made you some hangover soup. Drink it while it's still hot. Get some rest after drinking it. Good night." Mu Yang took the bowl, and asked me,
I'm going to video call my family in a bit. Do you want to meet them?
"Huh?" Thinking I misheard, I turned to look at Mu Yang.
To get to know them ahead of time. That way, it'll be less awkward when we meet in person.
Mu Yang explained with a smile. "I suppose that's true," I replied with a dry laugh, "but I'm not prepared at all. What if we blow our cover? What should I do?"
Don't worry, just be yourself and speak honestly. Come on in.
Saying this, Mu Yang stepped aside to let me in. Walking into Mu Yang's bedroom, my heart suddenly began to race, even though this was my own home. At that moment, I had the illusion that I was stepping into Mu Yang's world.
Have a seat first. Let me finish the soup first.
With that, Mu Yang drank the sobering soup. I had no choice but to sit in the chair in front of the desk. This room was actually larger than my current bedroom. I used to sleep here, but because it got too much sun and became unbearably hot in summer, I later moved to the bedroom next door, and this room became a study. Once Mu Yang finished the sobering soup, he started the video call with his family. At this time of day, it happened to be daytime where his parents were. Mu Yang propped his phone up on the desk against some books so that the camera could fit both of us, and I, too, could see Mu Yang's family. Mu Yang's parents looked quite elderly. Mu Yang had mentioned before that he was the youngest child, born when his parents were already in their 40s. That was why they were so old. Talking to Mu Yang's parents, I answered every single question, and was even a bit of a chatterbox. This was because Mu Yang's parents seemed very easygoing and warm. In the end, I even invited them to visit my hometown sometime, not forgetting to hype up our local scenery. After the call ended, I finally realized I seemed to have forgotten the role I was supposed to be playing. I turned around and looked at Mu Yang awkwardly. I'm sorry, I think I forgot my role just now.
It's fine. It's better to be natural.
Mu Yang smiled and comforted me.
It's very late. You should get some rest, too. Good night.
I nodded in frustration and replied. I got up and walked toward the door. Back in my bedroom, I still felt a bit down. After all, Mu Yang had done a wonderful job at my house, while I completely messed up the video call with his parents. But despite my frustration, on my first night back home, I still slept very well. After all, I had exhausted myself today. The next day, I slept in until I woke up naturally. It was already past 10 o'clock when I woke up. I thought I had read the time wrong. I got dressed, washed up, and walked into the living room. But there was no one around. I wondered if Mu Yang was still asleep, though my parents were definitely out busy by now. I walked out to the yard, and saw my mom feeding the chickens. Mom, why didn't you wake me up? Usually, once it passed 8 o'clock, my mom would insist on waking me up, even on weekends.
You think I didn't want to? Mu Yang said you were too tired, and told me to let you sleep in a bit.
My mom gave me a look of disgust. Oh, I replied, but the next second, I realized something was off. How did Mu Yang know I was tired? He did just as much physical work as I did yesterday. Why wasn't he tired? And how could he get up so early? Where is Mu Yang?
He went shopping for New Year's goods with your dad.
Huh, I almost thought I misheard.
I was going to take you with us, but who knew you'd be sleeping like a pig, and wouldn't even wake up?
My mom complained. The next second, she changed the subject and whispered a warning.
Don't say I didn't warn you. No matter how close you and Mu Yang are, you aren't married yet, so be careful. Otherwise, having a wedding with a baby bump won't look good.
I was completely speechless. Where is this even coming from? Mom, what are you talking about? Oh my god, for someone who hadn't felt shy in ages, I actually blushed.
You snuck into Mu Yang's room last night. Don't think I didn't notice. Anyway, just watch yourself. Now go feed the ducks. I'll go pick some vegetables to cook.
My mom shoved a basin of duck feed into my hands, and left to pick vegetables. Looking at my Chanel suit, which was already stained with duck feed, I wanted to cry, but had no tears. But I didn't dare protest. Any protest would only bring down an even harsher scolding from my mother. If Mom could direct just half of this fierce energy toward those awful relatives instead of me, our family wouldn't have been bullied so badly. I sighed helplessly. After feeding the ducks, I called Mu Yang. My father answered the call, and said Mu Yang was too busy to answer right now. What is he doing? I asked, feeling puzzled.
He's helping your great uncle repair his tractor.
My father answered over the phone. I was stunned for a moment, and then burst out laughing. I can't believe Mu Yang was actually mistaken for an auto mechanic. Can he even fix it?
Mu Yang wanted me to tell you that he can even fix airplanes.
He's just bragging. Dad, weren't you guys going to buy New Year's goods?
We were planning to, but we ran into your great uncle. So we came to fix the tractor first. We'll go shopping later.
So I went over to check it out. To my surprise, Mu Yang actually fixed the tractor. He was just taking it for a test drive. Looking at the elegantly dressed Mu Yang driving a tractor in such a wild manner makes me laugh every time I think back on it. Once the tractor was fixed, Great Uncle was thrilled. He even offered Mu Yang some red eggs. Mu Yang asked me
if his performance passed the test.
I smiled and said, I didn't know if he passed my test, but he had definitely won over Great Uncle. Great Uncle is the oldest and most respected elder in our clan, so whenever something happens in the family, it basically requires Great Uncle's approval to be carried out. After helping Great Uncle fix his tractor, we went to shop for New Year's goods. Actually, my parents had already bought almost everything. It was called going shopping, but it was actually to bring Mu Yang to the county town to enjoy the holiday buzz. Since I hadn't been back for 2 spring festivals, coming to the market now felt fun and fresh to me too. Everything looked so fun and delicious. It was probably Mu Yang's first time at a rural market, as he found everything absolutely fascinating. We hung out like buddies. We strolled through the local market together. We ate a ton of street food, and Mu Yang was as happy as a kid. He said he'd definitely come back. I was instantly speechless. Did he assume I still wouldn't find a boyfriend next year, and would have to keep renting him? Our New Year's Eve dinner was a rare occasion for my family to be so lively and harmonious. Unlike before, when my parents nagging would turn the house upside down, ending in a huge fight. Mu Yang charmed my parents, so well they were beaming. I quietly decided that if Mu Yang is still single next year, I will hire him again, even if I have to pay him. After all, he's totally worth it. As for the year after next, we'll worry about that later. But that night, Mu Yang really drank too much. The night before, he only seemed to be drunk, but tonight, he was completely wasted, because he actually started discussing the bride price with my parents.
No bride price is needed, as long as you two love each other. That's all that matters.
My father said, grinning from ear to ear. It looked as though he wanted to pack me up and hand me over to Mu Yang right away. Who needs a bride price?
We should still have a token bride price. Just follow the local customs. We'll return it to you guys in the end anyway.
My mother, however, was much more rational. Since she was the only one who hadn't been drinking, I stood there feeling so embarrassed that I wanted to crawl under the table. What on earth is going on?
Shumo, what do you think?
Mu Yang looked at me with a smile. I was stunned, and stared blankly at Mu Yang. I couldn't help but complain inwardly. What opinions could I possibly have? It's not even real. But I still braced myself, and replied cooperatively, well, it's just a formality anyway. We can just follow the customs.
Alright, uncle, aunt. Let's go with the local customs. You don't need to return the bride price. It's meant to show my respect to you both. The dowry can just be a token gesture. We already have the house, car, and renovations ready.
Great.
My father smiled, so widely his face wrinkled up. Mu Yang then raised his glass, and said sincerely to my parents,
Uncle, aunt, please rest assured in trusting Shumo to me. I will definitely treat her well, and never let her suffer any grievances.
Hearing this, I was actually quite touched, almost forgetting my fake role. I even started nodding along in agreement, but soon, a wave of worry hit me, with Mu Yang setting the bar so high. If he can't keep helping me next year, where on earth will I find a boyfriend with qualifications as good as his? At this thought, I couldn't help but let out a sigh. The next second, I realized everyone's eyes were fixed on me. I was instantly embarrassed and explained with a forced laugh, I have no objections. I'm just really full.
Do you want a traditional Chinese wedding? Or a Western style one?
Mu Yang looked at me and asked. I was completely dumbfounded. Mu Yang is playing with fire. Once the spring festival is over, he'll just pack up and leave. It won't have anything to do with him anymore. But I'll be in big trouble. Where on earth am I going to find a son-in-law to present to my parents then? And he has to be as outstanding as Mu Yang.
Otherwise, we could have a Western style wedding for my family, and a traditional Chinese one for your side.
Mu Yang continued. Mu Yang, have some more soup. I awkwardly scooped a bowl of soup for Mu Yang, hoping it would sober him up. Asterisk, my dear young master, asterisk, asterisk, if you keep talking nonsense, asterisk, asterisk, I'm going to be doomed. Asterisk. Finally, New Year's Eve dinner was over. My parents were in the living room watching the Spring Festival Gala to ring in the new year, while Mu Yang and I played with firecrackers in the yard. Or more accurately, I wanted Mu Yang to get some fresh air and sober up. Otherwise, there was no telling what kind of scene he might cause tonight. Mu Yang, you did great, but you need to know when to stop. Otherwise, if my parents find out we're faking it, they'll skin me alive. I pleaded with Mu Yang pitifully. I was already starting to regret hiring Mu Yang to play my boyfriend, because this was becoming harder and harder to wrap up.
If you want, we can make it real.
Mu Yang looked at me and responded with a sincere gaze. I looked at him, and after a few seconds, I burst out laughing. You really drank too much.
I'm not drunk.
Drunk people always say they're not drunk. I get it. Mu Yang didn't argue. Looking at the fireworks in the distance, he said,
I saw you at my cousin's house last year. I wonder if you still remember.
I was a bit confused, because I had absolutely no recollection of it.
I knew you'd have completely forgotten. Otherwise, when we met, you wouldn't have. It was like meeting a total stranger.
Sorry, I'm a bit bad with faces, I explained awkwardly, but normally, a handsome guy like you is someone I would never forget.
That day, everyone else was having fun, but you were the only one busy helping my aunt.
Could it be because I didn't know how to play their games? I gently reminded him. Jingjing's family loves playing mahjong, but I don't know how.
Really? But I still fell in love with you at first sight.
Mu Yang replied with a smile. I thought I misheard, and looked at Mu Yang in shock.
I still remember you that day. You were wearing a lemon yellow sweater, with a white skirt. You looked beautiful.
Is it possible that you got the wrong person, and mistook another girl for me?
No. I have a very good memory, and I'm not face blind.
Mu Yang smiled and shook his head. My face gradually flushed red, because Mu Yang didn't seem to be joking at all.
Shumo, I've liked you for a very long time. You just didn't know it.
Mu Yang added. In the next second, I, who was usually so thick-skinned, actually got shy. Then I did something that whenever I thought back to it, made me want to die of embarrassment. I was squawking in disbelief, and like a flapping duck, scrambled back into my bedroom. I slammed the door shut, unable to face him. Of course, I also heard my parents ask in utter bewilderment,
Xiao Emo, did she take the wrong medicine?
whether I took the wrong medicine. I didn't know, but my heart was already pounding so fast, almost bursting out of my chest. Later on, I still felt like Mu Yang was just joking with me, or that he had some sort of ulterior motive. So I called Jingjing. Jingjing, tell me the truth. Is there something wrong with your cousin? I asked in a dead serious tone.
What kind of problem?
Jingjing was completely baffled by my question.
My cousin is perfectly fine.
Tonight, he actually told me that he fell in love with me at first sight, and has liked me for a long time. And then, I heard Jingjing on the other end of the line, laughing like crazy, bursting into wild giggles. Can you stop laughing? I'm being serious here.
Sumo, I actually told you a long time ago that I had a great cousin I wanted to introduce you to. You were the one who wasn't interested, insisting you only wanted to work and didn't want a boyfriend. You even said all men are the same, and that you didn't want to get married at all, just make money.
Jingjing explained. Don't tell me. The cousin you wanted to set me up with was Mu Yang. I frowned.
Yeah, he's my only unmarried cousin, and he's such a catch. If he were some ugly dad, I wouldn't have introduced him to you. After spending these past few days together, what do you think of my cousin? Isn't he super reliable? Has he got an old woman like you? Feeling butterflies in your stomach yet?
You're the old woman.
You're the one who always says, you're getting old, not me, but my cousin wouldn't mind. Bet you're 3 years older than him. Just take him already.
I don't know what you're talking about. I'm hanging up now. Saying this, and without waiting for Jingjing to reply, I hung up the phone. I had wanted to ask Jingjing and find out what was going on. Well, great. After asking her, I felt even more confused. Clutching a throw pillow, I just wanted to bury my head in the sand like an ostrich. It's not that I can't accept Mu Yang. I'm just afraid that if I accept his feelings, and things don't work out in the end, I won't be able to get over it. Just then, there was a knock at the door. Who is it? I asked, sounding a bit annoyed. The moment I asked, I felt like an idiot. Aside from my parents at home, who else could it be but Mu Yang? Your mom says it's almost midnight. Everyone is about to set off fireworks. She asked if you want to come out and watch. Standing outside my door, Mu Yang asked gently. Fireworks aren't banned in our village yet, so every year when midnight strikes on New Year's Eve, every household sets off fireworks. It looks absolutely stunning and magnificent, and so festive. I'll be out as soon as I put on a scarf. I had to make up an excuse and reply. After stalling for a bit, I grabbed a red scarf, wrapped it around my neck, and walked out of the bedroom. To my surprise, Mu Yang was still waiting outside. My face instantly flushed hot, and I didn't even have the courage to look at him. I never used to think I was such a shy and timid person. Who would have thought that in front of him, I'd behave like a young girl who had just fallen in love. Standing at the courtyard gate, we watched as, one after another, fireworks exploded in the sky, illuminating the entire night sky. It was almost dazzling. Want to make a New Year's wish? Mu Yang turned to look at me and asked. Fireworks aren't shooting stars. Can you still make a wish on them? I said, slightly amused. It works as long as you're sincere. Fireworks or shooting stars, it's all the same, Mu Yang said with a smile. Looking at Mu Yang's warm smile, I suddenly found myself believing him. I clasped my hands, closed my eyes, and silently made a wish in my heart. If it's not too much trouble, please grant me an amazing boyfriend this year. Someone like Mu Yang would do. I'm not picky. After making my wish, I lowered my hands, and turned to look at Mu Yang, only to find him already staring at me. Caught completely off guard, I instantly felt flustered. I quickly looked away. Then I heard Mu Yang ask me with a hint of a smile in his voice. Shumo, what if we give it a try? Try what? I froze for a moment, and could only play dumb, answering vaguely. I'd never felt so nervous. I was afraid Mu Yang was just joking with me, yet even more afraid that he wasn't. Will you be my girlfriend? I stared at Mu Yang in disbelief, even less sure of whether he was joking or being serious. I retorted, that joke isn't funny at all. I'm serious. Will you be my girlfriend? Mu Yang asked again. His voice actually sounded a bit nervous. Another firework exploded in the sky, much like my heart, suddenly bursting into a dizzying rush of emotions. What are the perks of being your girlfriend? I asked back, trying to play it cool. From now on, you won't have to. Speaking of renting a fake boyfriend for New Year, I can come back with you every year. I rolled my eyes, feeling a bit speechless, wanting him to stop bringing this up. If my parents hear you, we're doomed. But before I could put on a stern face to scold him, I couldn't help but smile first. If I agree to that, I won't be paying you for this trip, I said half jokingly. No need. I'll even bring my own dowry. Mu Yang responded, immediately grabbing my hand.